Hi everyone, Shannon here with Mixed Media Minnesota. So I thought I would turn my camera on. Today I'm going to play with making a journal cover and actually the topper for on a cover. So what I did is I just cut a piece of scrapbook paper and folded it so it's 9 by 12. So when I fold it in half, it's 9 by 6. And this is the topper. I cut this by 8.5 by 5.5. So I'm actually going to decorate this part of it, and then this part will attach on the cover. This is really thick cardstock, so I'm gonna need to put some fabric washi on the spine. Probably put that on the inside as well. But I want to show you guys something neat that I figured out. I was being lazy and I didn't want to go dig out my scoreboard. So when I was folding this, so I don't know, you guys have probably done this before, but I thought it was kind of neat. It works slick for me. So I always have my paper cutter around. So let's say I wanted to score this and I want it to be in half. So let's see here. Just put it on there, and your cutter has that line on there. I just make sure my knife is further back, and then I hold that on there and I use my bone folder and I just followed that line in my cutting in my cutter. And so then when I take it out, I didn't push very hard, but you push harder on this is really thick paper. It scores it for you. So yeah. So I didn't have to dig out my scoreboard. So I thought I would share that with you guys. You guys have probably done that before, but I thought it was pretty intelligent when I did it myself. Okay, so I'm gonna set my cutter aside. And what I'm going to attempt is a little bit of, I saw a video, I believe it was 49 Dragonflies, and she was making she was creating something kind of like this. You can see here I have a whole bunch of like paper trimmings. You know, these are thicker paper. I'm going to use gesso and different things on them, so I wanted to pick some thicker ones on here. And then, I don't know about you guys, but I keep tags off of everything. All of the packaging, you know, no matter what. Playing cards, I just grab some of those different cards because everybody has those somewhere. So we could use those. But your packaging, don't throw it in the garbage. You guys save it because you can use it for anything. Even if it's ripped, it doesn't matter. Clothing tags. My kids know. They just save them and they put them on a pile for me. So I constantly am adding things. You know, and I tried to pick out some of the thicker ones this time. But I keep them all in collaging and everything else. They're kind of fun to do. Yeah, so I just have all different kinds of them. Some more paper trims, and then some, these are really thick, so cut the string on that. So we're going to use those. I grabbed a couple little pieces of fabric. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not. The playing cards. And I have to show you guys. I'm almost embarrassed to show you, but talking about saving tags and packaging, check this out. And like, this is treasure to me. A lot of people would look at it. I have other things poked in here too, my tickets and stuff, but this is like, I love this box. I don't know. Maybe I should just show you guys that. You'll think I'm crazy, but I love it. And it's all, it didn't cost me anything. It's all stuff that normally would have been in the garbage. Okay, so I'm not going to put the washi tape and stuff on this. We'll do that when we attach this to it. This is probably going to be a multiple part video. This paper is from 49 in Market. It's really thick. It's actually some of the paper that was included in our March kit. So it's got the fun earth tone colors, and we're going to cover it basically up. So okay, what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to glue and layer and build. I'm just kind of building texture on here. So I'm just gonna glue as I go. Let's see, I'll use my art glitter glue. I gotta wipe that off. I'll grab a baby wipe here. My glue is a mess. I need to clean it again. I don't think I take very good care of it. Yeah, it's all cruddy. Well, we'll see if we can get it to work. Otherwise, I'll have to grab a different kind for now. Okay. You can use gel medium to attach this. All different kinds of glue work for it. Let's see, this glue isn't working. Let's just try our Fabri-Tac. See if we can get that to work. That's also yucky. Okay, we're back. And I'm simply just gluing it down and kind of, I want to build a texture and a composition on here. So I'm going to come back in with gessos and inks and color it that way. So, and here's some of the thick paper. And you can rip it. You can rip it, glue it. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I've never quite done a cover like this, but it was really neat and I thought it looked like fun, and I just kind of felt like playing with some of my mediums and stuff. So a lot of this is going to be covered up. You're not going to see, so it doesn't matter, you know, what it says or anything. Yeah, it's funny when we go school shopping before school starts or something, and the kids get home and they all bring me little handfuls of tags, and I'm just using my finger to kind of smear this around on here and just randomly plopping it down. My BB wipe is really, really wet. You can cut apart cereal boxes. You can use, I mean, you can use anything. The stuff that would normally go in the garbage is what works really well for this kind of thing. And you can put as many as you want, layer it up as little as you want. And my fingers are all glued. so quiet here today. Yesterday was like 40 degrees. It felt so good while the sun was out, but then it got cloudy and gloomy feeling, but so that was nice. I'm excited because later on today, a couple of us are going to go to a thrift store, a local thrift store, and check it out. I love going to thrift stores. You never know what you're going to find. Sometimes you don't find anything, and sometimes you hit the jackpot. We kind of go and we have this little thing where we see who can get the most for the for the least or the best deal or something, and it's just kind of fun. Okay, so I think I'm going to call that good for this step. Push those down and make sure they are really dry. We didn't use any of our cards. We'll use our card here. We'll add a playing card on there yet. My kids are all growing up, and so when they were cleaning out their closets and, well, my son's room, we have one boy and a whole bunch of girls, so he has his own room, and so all the games were stored in his closet. And so he was cleaning in his room a couple weeks ago, and I know, shocker, he never cleans his room, but he had to clean his room. It was beyond, he had to, otherwise mom was gonna do it, and he knows he doesn't want mom to do it. But anyways, so he was cleaning out his closet, and all of their games in there that they've had, they haven't touched them for years because they've outgrown them and stuff. So I have a whole bin full of playing cards and different game parts and pieces and stuff from them games, and I was excited to have that little treasure. So it's crazy what you can find around your house, to use in things. You can use anything. There's no rules, so. Okay, so I'm just going to use my finger. Actually, before I add the gesso, I'm going to add some spray color on there to get some color, because I don't want it completely gessoed. And I should have grabbed a stamp. You guys hold on one second. This is going to take me a second. Just grabbed a handful, so I have no idea which ones we have here, but we'll go through those when we need them. Okay, so my sprays are down here. Let's see, what colors should we use? Here we have a desert sand and chopped pesto and slate gray. Let's try those ones. I want this to kind of be grungy earth tones, so. Okay, I'm going to, so I don't have such a mess to wipe up. I also got my water here. I need to wash these. I'm so full glued together and stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little layer of water on top of that. And then I'm going to add some color. Let's see. Ooh, that's really green. A lot of this is going to be covered. So. Okay, so just going to add some water. Just going to dab some of that off. I am going to have to use the heat tool in this video, so make sure you turn your volume down I'll tell you before I start that up. Let's see. I think I am gonna dry it a little bit here. Before I dry it, I'm gonna grab a glass here. I'm not very prepared today, am I? A glass of water. Okay, have some distress stains, some distressed ink, and then I have some of the alcohol inks. I don't know if we'll try and play with some of those, but I just want to add a little color here and there. You'll add that above the gesso. Let's just go ahead and we're gonna dry this with the heat tool. So turn your volume down and fast forward if you would like. I don't like to edit the videos, so just fast forward through it, guys. Okay. Now I just have white gesso, and I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm going to add gesso here and there on it, some spots being thicker. I'm just going to put a light coat kind of around where just kind of randomly here and there. A little bit thicker in spots. See, a lot of the middle will be covered when we decorate it. But to help color, you know, like this tag is black, and obviously the 7 of diamonds is red, so. And where we're gonna have the thicker spots of gesso, when we dry it, we're gonna partially dry that, and then we're gonna use a stamp in it to give us a texture, and hopefully we'll get our inks, you know, to go in the stamped image. See how you can kind of see a little bit of the black? That's okay. I don't want to completely cover it, but somewhat cover it. Does that make sense? Probably not. And I'm going to add some thicker areas where I'm going to stamp. And that's really thick there. Okay, so kind of have it smeared all over on there. Now I'm gonna make the thicker spots. So I know down here I want it to be thicker. You know, I'm trying to go like around, not in the middle so much, because we're gonna cover that, you know, probably when we decorate anyways. So I think I want a little bit thicker up here. And I'm thinking right in here. And maybe we'll do a little bit down here. Okay, so I think that's probably good with that. You can do it any way you like. I've actually never stamped and done it so this is all new to me. I'm just trying to wipe some of this gesso off my finger. I'll have a disaster yet, but it's so fun when you can make a mess. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat tool back on and I'm going to dry it so the thin spots are dry and the thick spots are, I would say, halfway dry maybe, if that makes sense. So turn your volume down or fast forward here if you'd like. Okay, that's close, I'm thinking. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this stamp, and I'm not sure whose stamp. See, I pulled all my stamps out of their packaging. Obviously, the packaging is in my bin, and so now I don't remember where they all came from. But it's a really neat stamp. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is, let's see. Just wiping it with a baby wipe here. Maybe it won't stick so much. I'm just curling it around my fingers, kind of like this. And then where the thicker spots are, I'm just gonna stamp. Oh, that didn't work at all. Okay, so obviously it's not dry enough. I'm gonna wipe my stamp out here, because I don't want to ruin it. Okay, I'm gonna throw this in some water really quick, or run some water over it, guys. Okay, sorry about that. If I didn't get that washed out, it would have ruined my stamp. I should probably have a bin of water over here. My sink is across my studio from where I record at, so. Okay, so that was not dry enough. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some more down here to kind of fix what I messed up. Okay. And I'm gonna use the heat gun again, guys, so you might wanna fast forward or turn your volume down. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's try this again. so it's not gonna work again. Oh man. Okay, I'm struggling here. Okay, that just peeled it out of there. Maybe this, yeah, this, I should have let it dry itself, maybe. Well, we have texture here anyways, I'll just kind of push it down. I'm just gonna throw this in the sink really quick. I'm wondering if the rubber stamp would work better. But we have texture in there anyways, so it's okay. We'll just add some texture with a stencil. Let's see here. So I have this stencil. It's Prima. I'm not sure the name of it. But then I have some texture paste. And I'm just going to add some texture that way, so. Ooh, this one's all pretty hard. Haven't used it for a while. Let's try and get it. Nothing's going right today, you guys. Nothing wants to work. Okay, well, we'll see if we can get that. Okay, so I'm just going to randomly put a little bit of texture. I'm going to take it off of that towel. So I think I want a little bit of it up here. I'm just kind of pulling it down. This texture paste is really dried out, so I don't know if it's going to stick in there or... Okay, that worked. I'm going to add a little bit over here. Okay, so I might put a little tiny bit down there yet. I'm guessing it peeled up on there. Yuck. Oh well. Let's see what happens here. Peel it all up, right? It's trial and error, guys. I don't like to edit the videos, so you guys get to see when I mess up. So, okay, I'm just scraping the excess off the edges of it. Okay, I am going to go and throw these in the sink, otherwise my stencil will be ruined, and I'm horrible about that. I set them aside and then they're plugged up. So. Okay, sorry about that. Making a disaster here. Okay. So I'm going to use the heat tool again and dry this. This shouldn't take too long, but go ahead, turn your volume down or fast forward or both, whatever. Okay, I'll let that cool for a second. I like to let the texture paste air dry, but that doesn't work when you're recording. Okay, so you see all the texture on there just from the tags, and you know, it's then the added texture with that, and the gesso adds a texture of its own, and so I think it's looking pretty neat already. Okay, what we're gonna try now is adding a little bit of color. I like to use my Stabilo crayons for this part. I'm going to try and use some of these inks though. Set the water back over here and see if I can get some of these inks to work. Let's see. Just give it a little bit of water. I'm going to start with the lighter color. A little bit more water. See, I want it to kind of run, if that makes sense. It goes in between the, you know, all of the texture lines and stuff. So I'm just kind of moving it around. And we'll add many layers, so it's gonna look different, but I'm just trying to get that color where I want it in between some of the texture. And I kind of just went diagonal with the light. I probably will do a little of the green. Not a lot, I don't want it to be really green, so I'm gonna, see that's way too green for me, so I'm just gonna spray water on the end of that and let it run off. Gonna put yellow over that green. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of green, and it gets soggy wet, so it has to dry. Like when we're done with the coloring, then I'll let it dry overnight, and then we'll come back and decorate the top of it, because you just can't get it to dry decent with the heat gun. I mean, you can, but I prefer air drying. See how I'm just letting it and tipping it around so it runs in between the texture? And the green and the, what color was that? Desert Sand, the yellow. I just kind of I'm trying to get that as my background kind of color. I'm gonna try with the gray, the slate gray. So every time you spray water, you know, it changes. So it's always gonna be different. But I'm trying to get that dark color to run, you know, in that texture. So a little bit of water. And then I'm trying to get it to run. See, I really like that. It's going to look different. When it dries, it's lighter and everything else. So I'm try and get that. I'm gonna add a little more gray here. I should have put my gloves on, but it's okay. I can have, my hands can be. Okay, so I like how that runs in there. Now I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of that Desert Sand color. I'm gonna run the heat tool here, guys, so go ahead and mute it or fast forward it if you would like. And it's not going to be completely dry when I'm done. I'm just trying to get a little bit of it. try this distress stain. See if I can see what happens if I pull that in there. And that was a vintage photo. Spraying water again. Okay, so I think I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna add, well, first I'm gonna add some more. I like this yellow, and it lightens when it dries. So, let's see, just kind of grunging it here, the two corners opposite of each other. Maybe a little bit, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this air dry, and then we'll come back on the next video and we'll see what it looks like. It will be lighter, it'll look different. And then we'll distress the edges and maybe add some more of the colors in there. Yeah, I think this terracotta would be neat in there. But we'll see what it looks like when it's dried. And then we'll go from there. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was kind of a all over the place video, but this kind of stuff is all over the place. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.